to our school president, Mrs. Anita Cuabanes, our school directress, Mrs. Ana Luisa A. Bumagat, teachers, parents, students, and friends. A pleasant day to all of you. To the class of 2020, finally, here we are. Under any circumstances, graduation will always be considered as one of the greatest achievements to ever be realized in the discipline of education. But going through 2020, some of us have had to endure several challenges throughout the way. Personally, my mom had cancer. I know people getting bullied, those with identity crisis, and added pressures of social media and from peers. We also face challenges beyond ourselves: wildfires, airplane crashes, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, violence, social injustices, and racial disparities. And maybe just as we were about to celebrate for somehow getting through some of them, as we've been looking forward to prom, to senior ball, our graduation ceremony, and maybe a whole lot of other parties and get-togethers, the world turned upside down, as we are now faced with a global crisis, a pandemic that has affected hundreds and thousands of lives around the world. Some are struggling with a lack of capacity, of resources, but most crucially, of resolve. It has been a hard week, a hard month, and a hard year. And I know it might not feel right to celebrate, but one thing I've learned throughout quarantine is that it's okay to not be okay. The pain we're all feeling right now, I believe it's not new, but it feels different this time. The worst thing is, we have total uncertainty right now, and a lot of this is a direct result of COVID-19, with the thousands of lives it has affected and the massive economic disruption it has caused. But the funny thing these past few weeks have shown us is that the challenges we face go beyond than just the virus, and that the old normal wasn't good enough. In a lot of ways, the pandemic just brought into focus certain problems that have been going for a very long time. Whether it is climate change, lack of healthcare, the surge of sexism, unjust police practices, and widening economic inequality. These problems speak to decades' worth of frustration and anguish over underlying injustices and dysfunctions of the status quo. These shocks to the system that we are seeing right now reminds us that we should never take things for granted. That even just with a simple thing we can do, we have to work to make things better. Be involved. We've seen the power of the collective. We've seen what happens if we join for the same cause. So as scary and uncertain these times might be, it is also a wake-up call, because we don't have to accept what was normal before. Instead, make the world as it should be and could be. We can create a new normal, one that is fairer, cleaner, regenerative, and transformative. Even if we can't all gather in person, I want all of us to remember that a graduation ceremony doesn't just celebrate a moment of time. We aren't celebrating a piece of paper, we're celebrating ourselves. It is a culmination of all our years of learning about how much we've grown, the experiences we've shared, and the challenges we've overcome. And let us not forget about the friends and the family who have supported us all throughout the way. The point is, let us not let the lack of a big crowded ceremony discredit what our graduation signifies. Let us allow ourselves to delight in the glory of our achievement. Wherever you are, take photos, congratulate your peers, and most especially, celebrate yourself. At this point of our lives, we're expected to now take charge of our life's direction and decide what matters to us most. The career we want to pursue, the values we want to live by, and the type of person we want to be. If this was a regular graduation ceremony, I'd probably be talking about the long and winding journey of high school. Perhaps about our tests, our research papers, our encounters with our teachers, our tribute practices which have been scrapped because of the virus, and all the other handful memories I've had with my dear friends. But my fellow graduates, I will always be grateful for each one of you. This has been a bittersweet journey, but we are in a new normal, and there are more important things that need to be considered. And so 2020 decided to test us, our character, our ambitions for the future, which by the way has been harder than any test or any research paper we've had at school. But I do know that in the face of obstacles, we can always choose how to respond, to surprise ourselves and see our spirits fight back. Roll with it, go through it, overcome it. This whole celebration is a reflection of us Polinians, our empathy, our resiliency, and most especially, our spirit. We have lived our lives pursuing a dream, and nothing, not even a global pandemic, can stop us from reaching it. Let this current moment push us to improve ourselves in all areas of our life. At home, at work, activism, spirituality, wherever you can find hope, follow it. We're at the brink of a huge world shift, but look at how far we've come. Forget the fear, forget the doubt, and continue embracing the struggle. Now cheers to the most unique commencement exercises that has ever been celebrated. Let us console ourselves in the fact that we are now a part of history, a great one that is. Let us not only be ready to be in a world of change, let us ready ourselves to be the change in the world. Congratulations to us all, and may everyone keep safe. Thank you, and God bless.